Hello, YouTube. Our playthrough becomes an adult. It's part 18. Ghost of Tsushima with the therapist. It's so lovely to have you on board as always. Excited to find out who this warrior is. Before we find out, do take a second to like the video. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't subscribed. Leave a comment while we go through this. Check out the links in the description. All that fun stuff. Would love to have you around for a live stream sometime. Special shout out to those of you that financially support the stream in any way, whether it's through purchasing stuff through my merch store or becoming a YouTube member, or if you subscribe on my Twitch or whatever it is. Just please know that your contribution makes a big difference for my channel and for my life. So really appreciate that. Tell people about these videos if you think they could benefit from watching them. Let's find out who this is. I'm ready. Sorry I left you on such a brutal cliffhanger.
The spirit.
Oh. Running around chaotically.
Someone's been living here for a long time. Written by an educated hand. But the words are nonsense. Something about Lord Yarikawa being alive. A banner of Clan Yarikawa. Worn by a samurai of Yarikawa. Ugh, infested with fleas.
Oof.
Offerings taken from the shrines to the spirit. Did a samurai of Clan Yarikawa survive? I have to find whoever this is. Need to look for another shrine offering.
Again? Good lord. Dude, these damn shrines, people are lighting these things up like crazy. Go Nobu. We got somebody issuing out vigilante justice, and we can't allow that.
Another offering to the spirit.
Wait, this time the scroll's not taking me.
Lord Sakai is the last of his clan, and a servant of the dog Shimura. Lead him to the Garden of the Gods, so they may witness his death.
Oh.
Prayer to the spirit. To kill me, I'll go to the Garden of the Gods and end this.
Oh man, you fell for it, Jin. You took the bait. That guy is a master baiter and you fell for it. Now we gotta go fight him. Gotta go fight the master baiter. And here I thought he'd finish this himself. You will be in a field of fireflies, swinging a chain. Oh, this is beautiful.
The spirit! He was just here!
You saw the spirit? Where did he go?
Toward the Garden of the Gods. That must be why all the fireflies have gathered there.
Statues of the gods. This must be their garden. A shrine, but no spirit.
This looks like a dueling ring to me, Jin. With an audience.
This note's addressed to me.
Yarikawa's vengeance has come for you.
Yarikawa's vengeance has come for you. So you're the spirit.
I am the wind that stirs the ashes. I am Yarikawa's vengeance.
You spilled blood using a technique that died with a clan of traitors. Who are you? A samurai's daughter? Did you survive the rebellion?
No one survived. This is a land of ghosts.
Duel the spirit. Oh shit. Look at all these people that came out to watch, too.
Who asked you to kill me?
The peasants who bow to you. The merchants who smile as you pay them. All Yarikawa prays for the death of Clan Sakai and Shimura.
Not everyone. Some forgive.
The rest weep for revenge. I will bring them comfort.
Damn. Damn. Battle for the island is right here.
Let's see how you move.
Yarikawa is your grave. What are you doing?
What am I doing?
I know how to defeat you.
No, you will die.
You were a great warrior, but you'd let rage blind you to the true enemy. The Dance of Wrath belongs to me now. I use it as you should have.
Mukade's revenge and human strength in a venomous onslaught. Ooh. Ooh, with a centipede on it? Come on now. Come on now. That's good. Toad and the Sake, so there's a Mongol encampment in the area they need to be dealt with. Wait, flesh and stone, it's been 2 months. Okay. Dang. I mean, I want to know who she is, though. Like, obviously, she's not a spirit. Well, I will say that I think the words that she had to say to Jin carry weight. They seem to align very much with the analysis I've been bringing at you the last couple of episodes. That the island does not care for you in the way that you may think they do, Jin. That's why there is a rebellion. Regardless, I wonder, so, like, that's the thing, right, is I wonder what that means for all those people. Like, if I'm Jin, I'm sitting here going, like, wait a minute. People are writing notes about wanting me to die. People are writing notes that, like, people are resorting to some level of vigilante justice around this stuff. Like, why would these people be writing notes? It's another wonderful opportunity for Jin to sit down with those people. Because I would guess that us winning that duel doesn't mean the same thing for those folks as it does for me. And be like, hey, what was that about? Why do you guys want me dead? What's still sitting around? What's going on around here? I get that we're trying to fight Mongols and stuff, but I want to legitimately make an effort to understand your plight. There's no time for diplomacy. Jin's got to fight the Mongols. Like, there's time. If I've got time to do that duel, I got time to stop by real quick. Be like, yo, are we cool? Like, what's the deal? What do you need? What do you need from us? Jin just... He just doesn't do it. It's just me, or is it darker on this side of the island? Dude has time to write haiku, but can't spend seconds listening to people, right? Oh, here we go. What's up, Kenji?
Kenji, what are you doing?
You have stumbled on a perfect opportunity, my lord. Down this road lies an enemy camp stuffed with supplies to feed, clothe, and heal dozens, hundreds, and the Mongols left. It's a ripe plum just begging for it.
What are you not telling me?
This is a simple situation. No Mongols, lots of stuff. Help ourselves, help the people.
On the slim chance some good comes of this, lead the way.
I knew you'd understand, Lord Sakai.
Nato and the sake cellar.
How did you find this camp?
I've been following these guys for a while. They're so arrogant they leave their camp unguarded when they go on raids.
Then who were you waiting for on the road?
Who me? Nobody. I was on my way to the camp when you happened by.
There are survivors taking refuge near the Yarikawa stronghold. They need supplies.
That's exactly the people I'm trying to help.
Uh-huh. Something tells me this is not going to go smoothly.
What did I tell you? So beautiful it makes you weep.
Look around. Gather what you can.
With what? My hands? I love that we don't, like... See, this is where, like, I would have loved if we, like, brought a cart in and we were trying to put stuff into the cart. You know? Like, I'm being nitpicky, but that kind of stuff helps with the immersion, man. Like, what are we gonna do?
Anything valuable there? Precious metals, rare woods, a nice rug?
How about food? The kind people trying to survive a war could eat.
Oh, sure, that too.
Kenji?
Kenji! I'll kill you!
Who are you?
The man who's going to end Kenji's life. You left me here to die.
No, not true! I brought help! Meet Lord Sakai, also known as the Ghost.
One of you explain what's happening. Now.
Kenji set me up is what's happening.
It wasn't a setup! The Mongols were supposed to pay for this stuff, only they didn't. And then, they took my friend Nato here hostage.
They were supposed to pay for this?
Hear that? They're back! Please, cut me loose!
Where did you get these supplies?
We stole them from Straw Hats.
Lord Sakai, can you distract the Mongols?
So you can escape?
Not exactly. I have an idea. Trust me.
No more ideas, Kenji. Just take your friend and go.
Yeah, man, how am I supposed to trust you after you've duped me this many times? Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice. God damn it. Oh, shit. Kenji, my guy.
You think you can steal from us?
Oh, good. Straw hats now? Awesome. Oh, God. Can't see. Can't see. Boy, we got Mongols and Straw Hats. Just keep swinging, Jin. Oh, look at that perfect parry in the blindness.
Surrender, fools!
Kenji! Kenji's friend! You can come out now. It's safe.
Over here!
We are locked in!
Lord Sakai, get us out of here!
Get you out of where? Oh, God. What, did you lock
We
yourselves
thought it would
in?
be safer in here.
But then it locked.
Oh, God.
Thank you, Lord Sakai.
Yes, thank you!
You know what happens now.
I'm going to ride that sake barrel all the way to...
Kenji, I think he's angry.
Lord Sakai, our intention was always to gift our gains to the survivors who need it most. The camp outside the town of Yarikawa.
Gather everything you can. And when I visit that camp, I'm going to find it overflowing with food and medicine, correct?
Yes, my lord.
Yes, my lord.
You better hope so. I actually believe that Kenji's intentions are good. I really do. I just don't think he's as brilliant as he thinks he is.
Bad idea.
What's bad? It worked out perfectly.
You call this perfect?
The Mongols are dead, the Straw Hats are dead, and we have what we want. I mean, the survivors camped outside Yarikawa have what they want.
You're lucky I have plot armor, Kenji. Real lucky I have plot armor. Like, he'd honestly, if he just acknowledged that he's self-interested, it would make things a lot easier. But again, Jin, you know, he keeps falling for it. He keeps going along with it, so... And that's exactly right. More Straw Hats. Gonna starve. Gonna be mad at me. Now I'm killing the ranks. They're gonna further pigeonhole in. Understandably. We're not gonna have any of our own people even left by the time we liberate this damn island. I don't generally like to eat during playthroughs, but bear with me. I'm very hungry. Oh, by the way, did you catch that little bit of hypocrisy in Jin? Where he's like, y'all are a bunch of rebellious traitors. And in the last episode, when people were trying to talk shit about his past, he's like, I was a long time ago. So it's like, I can hold grudges. Not you, though. Give us empathy. Like, I deserve the benefit of the doubt, empathy. I deserve the time gap. You, though, once a traitor, always a traitor. Unfortunately, people often have a tendency to hold other people to a different standard that they hold themselves to. They're willing to give themselves the benefit of the doubt, extend leniency and empathy, and expect that people will return that without giving it. So, if you're going to talk a big game about there being time between things, you damn well better walk that walk. Over here. And the people on the island must be like, why does the wind change directions all the time? Tsushima International Airport in shambles. It's a neat little area. Healing lessons. We have entered the latter day of the law. Before the Mongols came, the people committed the gravest offenses with less concern than scratching an itch. But it has only become worse. Our mudras and mantras are useless. Our healing arts are no longer cure illness. If anything, they're made worse by our ministrations. Now the monks have been taken. What's the point of prayer when we're doomed? Why does who we pray to allow such atrocities?
Norio's here. No sign of any other monks, though.
Have you heard, my lord? Mongols. Searching for something powerful. Something our people have been hiding for years.
If the Mongols want it, they believe it can help them in their fight.
The story says the armor can turn even a simple farmer into a warrior.
I wonder what it could do for a samurai.
I'm no storyteller, my lord. But the musician Yamato tells it well. Last I heard, he was near Kashima.
Can't believe traitors attacked Clanadachi. Who would do something?
Wow, we've almost maxed all that out. That's exciting. Map updated. I'm gonna need a couple more chips and I'm done. Ancient suit of armor. All right. My stomach feels much better. Gotta have that food in order to analyze stuff. All right. Lock and load. Oh boy. Maybe don't take your sword out. Around a baby Jin. What are you doing? Gifts. Snows of Kamigata. Worn mainly in the north for warmth. I want to hear somebody ring that bell. Ooh, the swordsmith has 2 upgrades available.
My armor will dull the Mongols' weapons.
Tadayori's armor. Oh man, see, like, oh, look at that hat. Oh. Dude, fully kitted out Ronin attire is badass.
I have no way to strengthen your armor.
Goodbye.
Stay strong and as rooted as mud, Kubara.
Lord Sakai. Norio, where are the monks from your temple?
Give me a minute. I gotta go talk to the swordsmith.
I can help improve your blades, my lord.
All right, what do you got? Oh yeah. Oh, we're so close.
Sharper than ever. Apologies. You
All right.
don't have what we need to do the work.
3 more gold, a little more supplies. Ooh, baby, that's gonna be awesome. I don't feel strongly about upgrading that, but
An honor to serve you, my lord.
getting that katana upgraded.
If your blades need work, let me be of use.
Actually, I guess I probably should maybe upgrade my bow.
Lord
as well.
Sakai. Norio, where are the monks from your
No
temple?
substitute for a great bow. Tadayori Nagao would envy this bow.
Good. That's what I'm going for. I want to
Lord
show him that I'm
Sakai.
better than him because I can afford better things.
Again. Seems like summer.
Hochi and his followers came down from Cedar Temple to train healers in the village. Mongols kidnapped them.
They took nothing else?
Hochi went peacefully, so they spared the village.
Slaughter those who resist. Reward submission. Khotun's favorite tactic.
He should not have gone along with them.
He gave himself up for the village.
Dude, I just can't with this. Get people to submit and slaughter people who don't. Like, we do the same thing. I know I point this out every time, but it's like, this is such a reflection on us too. Everything the Mongols do is not dissimilar to what we do. Bandits don't do what I want them to do. Ronin don't do what I want them to do. They don't fall in line. What do? I kill them. What do I ask the island to do? Submit to the will of House Sakai and House Shimura. There will be order. But it's okay because we do it and it's our island. You can't come in from the outside and do the thing that we do. Certainly can't come out and do it better than we do. Come on now.
The Mongols will be back. All he did was delay the end.
And it's a good thing you and I are here.
Last warrior monk.
Any idea where they went?
They rode out past the tea fields.
Let's pick up their trail.
Yeah, something tells me I'm gonna like this guy. Look at that spear, man. God, it's so badass.
We can't let them harm the monks.
The Mongols will keep them alive for their medical skills.
I'm sure of nothing when it comes to the invaders.
The impression has to be from the Champagne region of France, otherwise it's just sparkling feudalism. Exactly. Yes.
They came this way, past the tea fields.
Look for tracks.
Pick up the Mongols trail. Hey, did you see any Mongols come by here, dude?
That camp of survivors, the one outside Umugi Cove, it's cursed. People go missing.
The people there are vulnerable, without a place to call home. Easy prey for criminals.
Many of the survivors have lost their families, loved ones. There's something strange going on.
I'll put a stop to it.
They're back.
Lord Sakai, I found something.
Oh, nice. What you got for me, big guy?
They went toward the swamp. Come. It sounds like you and Hochi have a history.
Hochi always complained that my brother was too eager to fight.
Was your brother violent?
No, but he was always fearless. When I was a child, the older boys in my village bullied me.
That must have been a long time ago.
Many meals ago. One time, the boys stuffed me in a millet sack and tried to hang me from a tree. Enjo pretended to be a demon lurking in the branches. They never bothered me again.
Bravery takes many forms.
Hochi thinks warrior monks are driven by anger and hate. But when I swing my naginata, I sacrifice the few to save the many. And I do it without hatred.
People have all sorts of reasons to justify their actions. Yeah. I find sacrifice the few to save the many. I'm not trying to be overly cynical about this space, but there's so many people that, they do what they do for legitimate reason, or reasons they believe to be legitimate, and some we maybe consider to be more objectively virtuous than others. I'm distracted by this huge conch shell that he's carrying. That's so badass.
There they are.
Stay here, Norio. I don't want the monks to get caught in the middle.
Free the captured monks. Hey. Oh shit. Oh shit. Okay, I forgot. I got so distracted by the archer that I didn't do this the right way. What an asshole. My hatred for Archer hurt my ability to save the monks.
Soon.
I've done nothing to you.
Are you the samurai who rose from the dead?
Is Hochi with you?
Hochi? No. But one of us broke loose. The invaders chased after him. They'll be back any moment.
Road Sakai! Mongols up the road!
Norio? You're alive!
Stay back, all of you.
You're the samurai that came back to life. Oh shit, I didn't even see this guy. So oh baby, what a shot.
Is anyone hurt?
We're all right, my lord.
Where is Hochi?
A different group took him. Norio. They knew Hochi's name. And they mentioned Sira Temple.
Lord Sakai. Why would they separate Hochi from the rest?
He's the most skilled healer. They might have plans for him.
He also likes to argue.
You think he angered them?
Knowing Hochi? Yes.
Don't jump to conclusions. First, we need to track him down.
Give me time to figure out where the Mongols took him.
I'll meet you at Akashima village. We'll find him, Norio.
Okay. So many charms, holy crap. No, god damn it. Let's do that. All right. 3 actions, 3 illusions. Okay. Is blind optimism, like what Jin said, will find him bad overall or valid given the circumstances? I don't really like the idea of overpromise, underdeliver. I think it's okay to express a sentiment that we'll do everything we can to see if we can find him. I think when you start saying things like we'll find him, you may get cost sunk into that idea a bit more than you would otherwise like. So I think you should be mindful of your language around something like that, where this isn't really about we will find him. It's we will make the effort to find him. Can't promise that we will. But whether it's harmful, I think, would depend on the person and circumstance. To Momiji in Akashima village. My love, if you find this, it means we've left. I'm sorry. We waited as long as we could, but we must begin the journey to Umugi Cove now. It is difficult to find and dangerous even in peacetime, but they say a group of smugglers there have found a way past Mongol ships. We must take this chance. If you receive this before New Year, hurry to us. Yeah.
My lord, Straw Hat Ronin have been attacking travelers in Kubara.
More of Yuzo's traitorous men, spilling innocent blood, working with the Mongols.
I have family near the inn near Akashima Coast, my lord. I hope they're safe.
I'll find the inn and deal with these traitors.
Haven't felt safe in days.
I do want to see what that armor's all about, but...
Lord Sakai.
Norio.
We've all been worried about Hochi. They need a break.
Such moments are rare these days.
I used to be like them.
I'm not the same man I was the night before Komoda.
How bad was it?
Komoda? Bad. We lost everyone. The beach was soaked with so much blood. It was like paste. Be grateful you didn't see it.
We rode south all day, into the night. A bad storm slowed us to a crawl. Stopped at a farm to sleep a few hours. I woke to screams. The main house on fire. Mongol raiders. They took us to Kaneda in chains. After that, I wish I had died fighting. I think I know where they took Hochi.
You want to go now?
Yes.
Three actions. 3 illusions. Alright, travel to the Mongol camp with Norio.
Camp on the coast. Mongol ships stopped there for supplies and prisoners on the way north.
If they put him out to sea, we'll lose him.
Lord Sakai, when this is all over, what will you do?
I don't know. It feels impossible to go home and pick up where I left off.
I feel that way about my temple. Most of my life, my course was clear. Follow the Eightfold Path. Raise a family. Serve Cedar Temple.
You can still do those things.
I joined the temple because of my brother. And I always imagined my children and Enjo's children growing up together. Our wives would be friends.
Yeah, and all this shit got turned on its head, man. You've all seen some stuff you didn't want to see. Your future is in disarray. You're essentially being asked to question your own desires and values and principles and personal agenda, all this stuff, man. I mean, it's not lost on me that everybody on this island is traumatized. Or not necessarily traumatized, severely affected to traumatized. There's no way you couldn't be. So, you know, when I rag on Jin for some of his rash decision making and the way that he engages with people and stuff like that, I acknowledge that I'm doing that at a time where everybody here is just really trying to figure this out and doesn't really know how. We didn't see this coming. It turned everything on its head. I now am asking myself, what am I actually fighting for? Because everybody has to ask themselves that question now. The Mongols show up, they start doing a bunch of crazy shit, and if you fight back, you're constantly asking yourself, why am I fighting back? What am I fighting for? What matters to me? Am I even able to return back to the thing that I think I'm fighting for? If I'm fighting for my family and my family all dies, then what does that mean? If people are being forced to evaluate the stuff that matters to them in a big way here. To what extent do your roles matter? Your labels? All the stuff that you took for granted? That's what makes this so awful. And ways in which people's trauma perpetuates itself and continues throughout, not necessarily the lifetime, but long periods of time, is when you consistently try to go back to pre-trauma narrative and experience, which you just can't do. For at best, the thing that everybody on this island now has to integrate into their understanding about the island itself, into their schema about it, is this island can be invaded. And when this island is invaded, we are not prepared. And what does that mean for me? Like, people are constantly having to ask themselves this, and that is brutal. If you keep going back to, you know, God, well, it shouldn't be like this. The island should have perfectly rigid boundaries. We should have a military that didn't allow this to happen. I should have never lost my family. We should go back to a point where we're all united under blah, 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 which in some ways is what Jin is trying to get back to. Like, we need to get back to being united under House Shimura. But unfortunately, an experience has happened here that's not necessarily going to lend itself to people wanting to go back to that. And so, as people push to try to get back to pre-trauma experience and narrative, when it's not possible to do so, that can further ingrain the strong effect that trauma has on that person. And everybody on this island is having to go through it. It's brutal. Catch anything, fellas? Norio, where are you going, man?
The Mongols haven't taken everything, Norio. One day they'll be gone. And you'll still have a life to lead.
But I don't feel it's mine alone. I have to live for Enjo and the other monks who died. Do you ever feel that way about the samurai of Komoda?
Oh, Norio, that is a slippery slope, man. This is where the human mind gets us into trouble. Not only do I have to live my life, I have to live my life for the people that were lost. That is a sentiment that a lot of people meet with, like, wow, that's so sweet, that's so thoughtful and wonderful. And to an extent it is, but it is also something that can be quite damaging and off base. You're not actually responsible for that, Norio, in the same way that I, Jin, am not responsible for living my life in the spirit of the samurai. It's fine insofar as doing that is integrated in me living my life and doing what I need to do. But if this means that you're going to sacrifice yourself and your well-being because you think you're supposed to do something on behalf of people who are no longer to evaluate whether they actually wanted you to do it or not in the first place, Slippery slope, man. Like, time moves on when bad things happen. And I know it sounds sort of unempathic when I say that. When something really terrible happens to you or people you know, it feels like time freezes or slows down. But anybody outside the sphere of impact on that thing is not going to have that same experience. The world continues to move no matter what happens. The sun keeps going down and up. World keeps spinning. Shit keeps happening. And yeah, you could pause yourself for a little bit, take some time to reflect, figure out what it means for you. But at some point, you've got to acknowledge the reality that your life continues. And if you sacrifice your well-being in your life for some abstract sense of duty to people who are no longer allowed, again, if that fits within your value set and that is what you're all about, I'm not here to tell you that's wrong, but it certainly can create problems. Especially if you're somebody who wants to feel some sense of autonomy and control in your life. Like, you can essentially further perpetuate the invasion of trauma if you don't take an active role in controlling things that you can control as you go forward. So, it's a nice sentiment, but you also need to live your life and appreciate the fact that you survived it. No, those people didn't survive it. That sucks ass. But if Jin, for example, ruminates on that for the rest of his life, then has he ever really left the beach? No. Does that do anybody any good? No. You can remember things, you can think back on them fondly or with disdain or whatever it is, but ultimately, you got to push forward because the world's going to keep moving. Isn't that an issue a lot of Vietnam vets face with how they couldn't let go of their PTSD living on for the friends that had fallen apart? So the one thing I'm going to scrutinize about that question is you don't let go of PTSD. That's not how it works. People don't clutch onto their PTSD and hold on to it for dear life and then let it go at some point when the time is right. PTSD is a trauma disorder. It's pervasive. It's something that people have whether they want it or not. It can certainly become part of your identity, but it's not something that you just, okay, well, I can let it go here. Living for friends that had fallen in that part, absolutely, though, can perpetuate the pervasiveness of the way in which PTSD presents. It's important to remember that you can experience trauma and have negative effects from trauma in your life and not be diagnosed with PTSD. PTSD is a disordered response to trauma. It's not the typical response to trauma. So, yeah, but when you have trauma invaded into your life, for some, clutching onto that stuff and trying to make sure that you live on for your friends sometimes at sacrifice of what your values and needs are, yeah, that can destroy people. It's not great.
Like you owe them a debt.
A samurai's life is never truly his own.
I can't imagine how hard that must be.
From an early age, I had to carry on the Sakai name. I've never questioned it before.
Do you question it now?
I don't know.
Life before the invasion feels like it happened to someone else. Or like childhood.
Maybe 20 years from now, you'll look back on this moment the same way.
Lord Sakai, I told you Hochi strongly opposes violence, right?
You said he disagreed with the warrior monks.
He hates all weapons, including yours and mine.
He can lecture me all he likes once he's safe in Akashima village.
Samurai's life is not his own. I never questioned it. Do you question it now? He just immediately goes, I don't know. Norio hit a soft spot there. Or an emerging soft spot. I don't think it would have been a soft spot a while back, but for Jin to question his being a samurai would be for him to be self-indulgent. And if being self-indulgent is antithetical to the idea that a samurai does not live his own life, he's going to be in dissonant city on this. It's not actually self-indulgent to reflect on yourself and what you want, your role and all that sort of thing. But they have just drilled into the samurai that your environment, the island, your role is more important than you, the person. You live as a vessel as an extension of the state, essentially. And you're trained accordingly. And to question that, be like, well, how do I feel about that? Would be a great exercise, because he'd learn a lot about himself, and he would also realize that Jin doesn't do everything he does because he's a samurai and because he needs to fulfill that role. There is personal investment. His investment in his uncle, to a point of trying to convince other people out of their own directives, was not just because he's a samurai. That was self-indulgent. He cares about his uncle. He is willing to overlook some of the issues that his uncle brings as a leader because he's his uncle. Jin reflecting on that and understanding the way that that affects his decision-making would be a huge boon to the way in which he would understand his role and maybe optimize it on the island. So this whole idea of like, a samurai's life is not my own. Yeah, sure, but you haven't questioned it. Understandable. You grew up in it. Didn't have much of a choice. It's the only thing that was represented to you. It's the only thing you saw. Absolutely. Now you're an adult, traversing the world at large. You can start to challenge that if you want, but you're going to have to dig real deep if you do it, because it's going to violate everything you've ever thought or known about yourself. Yeah, to admit that he doesn't know what he'll do, I think is super important. Norio, there's a fox right here that I suppose I can fast travel to later.
We're getting close to the camp.
What would be a good way for him to work more on challenging and starting to ask questions instead of accepting what he's been taught his whole life? You got to start listening. You start engaging with diverse representation. You start looking critically at the way in which your code of honor and what you learned affects how you move through the world at large. Ask yourself, to what extent was there agency in that? To what extent could you exert control over that now? I mean, and start asking questions. Is this something that's really well suited for me? Do I legitimately align with this? Or does this seem like something I'm doing because it was told that's what I'm supposed to do? It's a lot of divorcing your own narratives and your own values from things that have been drilled into you that you adopted as your own because you thought that was the way. And that happens for everybody. When you're a child, you adopt the values and the sentiment of the people around you, namely often your parents and caregivers. And it often takes quite a long time. It takes being exposed to heterogeneous areas, like getting away from homogeny, engaging with education, knowledge, other people at different levels of lived experience, all of that stuff. And once you start to do that, then you start to realize, like, my God, did I actually believe this, or is this just what I was told? And I thought it was mine because as a child, I inductively take everything in instead of adding it to a deductive pile. So what does that mean for me? Is being a samurai in the samurai code actually something that I believe in? I could make an argument that deep down the answer to that for Jin is not necessarily. Because we have resorted to outside means of killing people that don't align with the samurai code. His uncle still wants to believe that he kills everybody after looking them in the eye, and he bows at the feet of every single person he kills. We haven't done that. I've done stealth kills. I know I haven't used a wide array of stuff, but we've done stuff that violates that code, which means that Jin's having to really confront that. Like, is that code me? Or is it something that I subscribe to loosely because it's something I want to subscribe to and it aligns with what I care about? Or is it just something I've been told I'm supposed to follow and that this is a role I'm supposed to occupy? And depending on the way in which you're isolated into that growing up, it makes it that much harder. If you're given a lot of opportunity while you're growing up to engage with different things, different roles, different identities, etc., then you're going to move through this a lot more adeptly. If you are pigeonholed into a very specific way of growing up, it's way harder to get away from that. Which is why any group that preys on the vulnerable goes for young people first, or as part of it. You try to get young children in as soon as possible, because breaking down that first impression and the first ideas is super hard to do. You got to get in early. The same way you might deal with any other discomfort alley.
Mongol guard, run him down.
Come here and fight.
I need to get a good look at the whole camp.
What about that granary?
Good.
Would you say it's a lengthy process or something that can be done in a short period of time? That entirely depends on the person and the circumstance.
We have to find Hochi.
The Mongols are holding someone there.
Hochi. Has to be.
If I go alone, I can reach him without the Mongols knowing.
Yep, so right here. We're gonna violate samurai tactic.
A Mongol signal cannon.
I could set it off. Draw their attention.
While I get Hochi out. After I find Hochi, we'll meet there.
Don't wait for me if I'm late. Get Hochi back to the village. I can handle myself.
Fair enough.
I'll meet you both back in Akashima village.
Set off the signal cannon. I'll get Hochi.
Take refuge in Amida Buddha, my lord.
So I'm gonna have to sneak in.
Good work, my friend. That should send the Mongols running.
Oh, alright, so now I do have to fight everybody. Okay.
Safety!
What's happening? Who are you?
A friend. We need to go.
I can't leave. The Mongols are returning me to see the temple. The people there need healers. Badly.
There's no time for this.
I'm sorry, but I must remain here.
Jin! Hochi!
Norio? What are you doing here?
The alarm drew a raiding party nearby. They're almost on us.
Damn it. Stay back, Hochi. We won't let them near you. Norio, ready your blade.
Oh, see, he wants to maintain his duty as a monk. Hey, what's up, guys? Oh shit. Oops. I like zoned out there for a second. That was wild.
Come receive a lesson in manners. A monk of Cedar Temple is your sensei.
Are the others with you, Norio?
Everyone is gone. It's just me now.
I'm sorry. I wish we could end this bloodshed. The Mongols were searching for me. I gave myself up to save lives.
How did they know where to find you?
They knew I was an Akashima. And they wanted to return me to see the temple. They need a healer.
You're willing to treat the enemy's wounded?
Mongol or Japanese, we all suffer.
Some deserve it.
But this means... has Cedar Temple fallen?
I don't know.
Norio, take Kochi back to the village before reinforcements arrive.
They will seek revenge.
I'll meet you there to plan a defense.
Oh boy. I just want to be very, very, very clear that that sentiment that Jin expressed is awful. Because that is a much more slippery slope than one may realize at the outset. The monk is like, you know what? I don't care who they are. I don't care who they are. If a person is suffering and I have the ability to help them, I will do that. And that certainly would foster goodwill amongst the people that you're helping. Also, I admire to an extent his willingness to stick to his guns on that. This is something that I ascribe to. I support people. I help people. It's what I'm here for. And if I'm going to give myself up so that other people don't get hurt, and then I'm conscripted to heal some Mongols, so be it. I'm doing what my role is. When Jin says some people deserve to suffer, what he's essentially saying is, yeah, but you should prioritize certain people over others. Why would you serve the Mongols and help them? Well, first of all, if they get the monk into their camp and he doesn't help the Mongols, he's going to die. That's the most obvious one. That's Occam's razor. That's the simplest expectation right there. If I don't help them, then I die. And I don't really want to die. I want to live to help humans. I want to do what I can to help. So if I can do my part in that regard and maybe show that not all of us here on the island are a bunch of monsters that are worth slaughtering, I'm going to do that. The reason this is scary is, again, we have to remember Jin's position and what he represents in terms of the power dynamic of the island. You don't want the people in positions of power determining who deserves assistance more than others. That's the slippery slope. Yes, there are things like triage in terms of severity. You come into an emergency room. Like, yeah, if somebody's having a heart attack versus somebody else who maybe broke their wrist, we're gonna prioritize the heart attack. That's totally understandable. But at a distance, you start to get things like, you know, that state where the Ronin live, those traitors, those people that have an ideology that doesn't fall similar to mine. Tsunami just hit your beaches? I don't know that you deserve aid. What are you going to do for me? You start to barter, taking care of people, and then you want to talk about creating divisions on the island? If this is your island and you're the one tasked with taking care of everybody on the island, you have to take care of everyone on the island. So, Jin's reaction to the monk's sentiment there is a scary one from the perspective of what it could potentially mean in terms of political ramifications on the island, given his standing on the island. If Jin was just a regular dude and he said that, I'd be more empathic to his sentiment. But I am not as empathic to his sentiment, given the real power and social prestige at this point that he has. That some people are more deserving of being taken care of than others. I mean, I am a person who works in the healthcare field. This would be like me saying, oh, I'm not willing to see a client because they're from Louisiana. You're from Louisiana? No. Maybe you deserve the emotional turmoil you're going through in the wake of your divorce. I have nothing against Louisiana. It's just the first state that came to mind. Like that, it's the same thing. It's not cool. You know, in an individual scenario, it's slightly destructive, but not like the end of the world. If you get that into a broader power specter, or a broader power like spectrum, then it becomes very scary. Unfortunately, this applies in real life in ways that I'm sure many of you understand while I'm saying this. That's my Discord. Hold on. I hate that when I'm in streamer mode, it hides names. So I turn it off when I'm offline because... Everyone just check their Discord, so I know. Sorry. There are way more fox shrines than I imagined there would be. Mongol dog? What?
your blades.
Hey lady, watch this. This is gonna be awesome. Oh, I just chopped that guy's arm off. Oh. I did not realize dismemberment was going to be a thing.
Hold still.
I thought I'd die here.
You're safe now.
Take this. It's all I have.
This is a cool little area. Probably not a safe place to be while lightning is striking, but... Damn. Not interested. Not interested. I don't want to fight. No. It's not worth it. I'm the Ghost of Tsushima. You don't want it. You don't want it. Ugh. Do you think there's a problem with them taking rewards for saving people? So we talked about this a little bit, or a while back in the playthrough. It's complicated. Oh boy, it's complicated. So if these people giving Jin their supplies and their goods is a meaningful way for them to show appreciation, and they are steadfast in their desire to give him the goods, I think you take it. I think you take it as a sign of respect. That person is determined that they can part with that, and they want to, and who are you to tell them that that's not okay? I think it's okay for Jin to maybe refuse once and be like, you know, you really don't have to do that. You don't have to give me your supplies. If you could benefit from them, I'm good. But if that person says, no, this is really meaningful for me to give you this gift as a sign of token of my gratitude, then I think you take it. The thing that I take issue with in the way that the game is designed is I don't think it's okay for Jin to be walking into these camps and just taking all the supplies. I wish there was some sort of negative impact to you doing that, where supplies you find in deserted areas is okay, but if you go into these camps where there's supplies are plentiful, if Jin takes them, then he starts to be perceived as more greedy. That it is gratuitous in terms of what he's taking. But the thing that you have to understand about gifts is that it's not always about the actual item. Sometimes a gift is about the message, where it's like if a person was to say thank you, and you say, don't say thank you to me. The person's like, well, that's weird because I feel gratitude and I want to tell you that I'm grateful. Like, it would be a bit odd for you to just constantly keep saying, like, no, I refuse your thank you. I refuse to let you say thank you to me. Like, at some point, you're stripping a person's autonomy away from them by doing that. So, if that person says, please take what I have, and Jin says, no, it's okay, I don't need it, you being alive is good enough, and that person goes, okay, cool, then great. But if that person's like, no, please, like, I insist, I would like you to take this gift because it's meaningful for me to give it to you. Okay. He could do more damage if he doesn't.
Lord Sakai, please join me.
The tale of
complicated.
Gosaku awaits you.
Tale of Gosaku. Gosaku. I'll listen.
Gosaku? Tell me about him.
Gladly, my lord. 2.5 centuries ago, Tsushima was terrorized by the Red Hand bandits of Akashima. Around this time, a farmer named Gosaku heard the spirit of a dead samurai calling to him. He found the body, still clad in brilliant armor. Overwhelmed by the armor's beauty, Gosaku stole it. Before long, the Red Hand reached Gosaku's home. Knowing the farmers would lose everything if the bandits went unchallenged, Gosaku donned the samurai's armor. The bandits charged. Gosaku's sword arm trembled in fear. He resigned himself to death. But blow after blow glanced off the armor, and Gosaku did not falter. The bewildered bandits staggered back, tripping over their feet. A mysterious sense of calm suffused Gosaku's body and mind.
Suffused?
Impressed
Man, what a
by
great
Gosaku's
word.
bravery, the dead samurai's spirit guided his blade. Before long, Gosaku cut down the final bandit, and the Red Hand were never seen again. Years later, when Gosaku died, the farming families locked the armor away for safekeeping. Each family holds a single key to the lock. Now terror stalks our island again. The farmers of Tsushima claim to have seen Gosaku high on a hill, looking for a mighty warrior to protect our farms once more.
That sounds awesome.
The armor is still locked away.
And now the Mongols are hunting for it, raiding farms across the island in search of the keys.
Which farmsteads hold the keys?
Aoi, Iijima, Kuta, Koshimizu, Ohama, and Yagata. If you find the keys, they say the armor is hidden on a hilltop in Akashima.
The Mongols will never lay hands on it.
Of that, I am certain, my lord.
Of that, I am certain. Damn, we gotta go far and wide for this shit. I guess we'll get it as we go. I still am amazed that we've only covered this little corner of this island so far. Hey, it's pretty wild. Essentially 2 full episodes of this playthrough dedicated over here. Hi, kitty man. Buddy man. You the buddy man. Kitty. Where's our buddy at? Not doing a very good job of...
It's wrong to enter violence with more violence, Norio.
It's right to prevent more suffering.
If you kill these raiders, others will retaliate.
Oh, it's a classic conundrum, man, and I know that I got a little bit of heat from people on this because I tend to be a bit idealistic about the need for, like, violence and diplomacy and all these sorts of things. the sentiment, you shouldn't fight violence with violence, is certainly a noble one. I think we all agree it to some level. Like, yeah, it's not good. We don't want more violence. Here's the problem. You need both parties to agree to that. And so it's essentially like the ultimate stalemate is I'm going to wait for you to not be violent with me before I'm not violent with you. I need to trust that you're going to lay your arms down before I lay my arms down. And as a result of that, nobody lays their arms down. Because if you lay your arms down and the other person doesn't and then attacks you when you're vulnerable, you just totally screwed yourself over. So it's like this big, complicated, widespread need for everybody to drop their weapons all at the same time, and that's just not really possible. So it's like, okay, so if there's people that are being violent and are harming people, and we're violent to try to head that off at the pass in order to stop it, where does that chain end? And that's a very real question to ask, and it's not one that has an easy answer. So that's why everybody should have a kitty man, because then nobody will want to be violent, because the kitty man will not allow it and will prevent it. Because the kitty man, who could be violent when you have the kitty man? You have this belly. Yeah.
Lord Sakai.
What's the problem?
Mongols are gathering nearby, preparing to strike.
We should evacuate to Castle Canada.
Evacuate and the Mongols will hunt you down. Not one of you will live to see Kanada's walls.
But we won't have blood on our hands.
Go tell the village your plan for them, Hochi. I'd like to see that.
Norio, I wish you cared about the Eightfold Path more than others' opinions. First, you follow Enjo around. Now, Lord Sakai. Do you ever think for yourself?
Wash my brother's name from your mouth.
Enough. Norio and I will do the fighting.
Everyone else can go hide.
I refuse to hide. I don't take lives. But I am not a coward.
Oh, this is beautiful. Ghosts in the fog. Yet another example. It's another example. Whose principles are more important? So, Hochi says, my guiding principle, my code of honor, suggests that I help other people and that I avoid all weaponry. I avoid all violence. That's my code. That's what I ascribe myself to. And Jin, in this case, and Norio look at him and say, not good enough. Your code sucks. Just because there may be more utility to Jin's code right now doesn't mean that Jin's code or Norio's code is more important than Hochi's. If Hochi doesn't want to fight, then we figure out a way to make sure that he doesn't fight. Or perhaps there is some way to come to the table on this and figure out, is there a way to solve this without violence? Is that a pathway that the situation dictates? Now, the ideal answer here is that everybody has enough flexibility in their code that they're going to solve the problem based on what the environment and situation is dictating. But unfortunately, we haven't really seen a lot of that. We've seen a bit of it from Jin. He's willing to go outside his code of the samurai to accomplish certain things, like sneak around and assassinate people and use tools that are outside of a katana and a bow. So Hochi ideally would also extend some flexibility based on the terms of the situation. But he is entitled, if we're going to allow Jin to rigidly adhere to his code of honor, and we're going to let Ishikawa do that and Shimura do that, you don't get to parse out and say that other people's rigidity to their code is bad and wrong, because it's not yours. And I could make an argument that this actually creates a lot of the tension that we see in real life right now, particularly as it relates to things like politics. People entrench themselves pretty rigidly into their spaces and aren't particularly willing to reach out and understand the subjective experience of certain people that may hold themselves out in a different pigeonhole. Now, we can conceptually understand the certain positions that people come from, but ultimately, the need for flexibility has to come from everyone. And humans' resistance to flexibility, tendency to rigidify in times of stress and transition, is often what creates a lot of problems. So there's no right answer here. The right answer is, all right, why don't the three of us sit down and figure this out? Jin basically pulls rank and says, all right, well, you can sit your ass there and we'll deal with the violence and tough shit. Tough shit, monk. Code of the samurai is more important than the code of the monk. I mean, he also said as much in the idea of, like, why would you help the Mongols? Dude's like, I'm just doing my thing. I'm doing my, rigidly adhering to my code. It's what I believe in. Is that so bad? Maybe it is. Maybe he heals the worst Mongol warrior of all time, and that guy goes on to slaughter 30,000 people, like Jin. I mean, would we make the argument that Yuna is complicit in every single person that I have killed since? Because she saved me? If Yuna doesn't nurse me back to life, there's a whole lot of Mongols and bandits that are still alive right now. I would say the answer is no. Yuna did what she believed was the right thing at the given point in time. She nursed me back to health. She saw me as a human. She took care of me. I'm the one that's made the decision to go on a warpath and kill everybody. Jin is responsible for that. The same way that if Hochi helps the Mongols and nurses them back to health, and that Mongol then goes on to slaughter his people, that's on the Mongol. It's not on Hochi for bringing him back. You don't want to place blame in places it doesn't belong.
I'll scout the village. See what defensive preparations we can make quickly. Gather everyone to you. Ready them to take shelter. One of these rooftops should work.
Everyone, we need you to gather here. Bring your families, quickly. Please, all of you, gather near me. Make sure everyone is here. Family, friends, neighbors. Gather round. Don't wander off. No need to panic. Just gather here. Is anyone missing? Keep your people together.
Oh, man. Carithes, thank you for popping in and saying that. I'm so glad that my video helped. And I give you a lot of credit for taking it upon yourself to do that. You know, my video exists, but you have to do something with it. So I'm honored to have had that kind of impact, and I really, really, really hope that things go the way that you need them to. It's fantastic. I'm honored that you pop in here and say that.
Here, perfect. If we flee into the swamp, people will get lost, separated. Easy prey.
Yeah, that's not good. Not a good idea there.
No walls. Mongols can strike from any direction. People could hide there.
That seems pretty obvious.
Incense burners. Add black powder to the incense. Get the smoke nice and dense. Enough to use as cover. Norio and Hochi lead everyone to the temple. I'll deal with the Mongols here. They'll blame me, not the villagers.
Smart.
My
That's
lord,
a sword you
we've
can
gathered
fall on.
everyone.
Take them to the temple.
I won't let you fight alone.
If the Mongols go to the temple, who will protect these people?
I'll do as you ask.
Keep your naginata ready. I'll owe you a jar of sake for putting up with Hochi.
Everyone, Mongols are on the way. Follow me to the temple. The invaders will face the wrath of a samurai.
Please, everyone, do as Norio says. We'll take shelter at the temple.
Quickly, everyone get up. Keep moving.
I'm just packing lots of black powder, huh? Or gunpowder? Wait until the Mongols arrive to light the incense. See, that's gonna be a lot of Mongols, huh? Yeah, we gotta blow up these beautiful incense pots.
Need to find a place at the edge of town to wait.
Show me where to go, Daddy.
I can hide in a granary. They're here. Now to light the incense burners. I hope the Mongols like smoke.
Damn. Hey, Mom. Oh. Oops, wrong button.
Better check on Norio and Hochi.
That's it? Those are all the Mongols? I thought we were gonna have like 30 Mongols. Grab my presents really quick. Oh.
Norio!
Lord Sakai!
Oh, man. Oh, the guy was swinging at me. Didn't think he was swinging at me. Oh.
What happened, Norio?
I was fighting.
Oh no!
A Mongol snuck up behind me. Hochi threw himself at a blow meant for me.
Oh.
You're both braver than many samurai I've known.
Shit. I didn't even catch that.
I didn't know he was behind me until I heard him cry out. By the time I turned around, he was dead.
It's not your fault. Norio?
Every time they lifted the cover on the pit, the daylight would blind us. This time, one of them stank like sake. I felt their hands pull me up, but my brother threw himself at them. He was starving, wounded, but he fought them. He fought them so hard.
Norio, you don't have to.
Yes, I do. They gave up on me and took Enjo. They took my brother. Everyone who rode south from Cedar Temple. All gone. Except me. They deserve to live. I'm the one who should be dead.
I thought the same thing after Komoda. Many times. I don't know why we survived, Norio. But we did. And these people are counting on us. We're all they have. The people of Akashima are alive because of you. Don't forget that. Because they won't.
That was okay. I am normally very against injecting yourself into a conversation when a person is sharing something that is deeply painful to them, because you can inadvertently make it about you instead of about them. But Jin sharing his experience there is an exception to that. That is the most poignant thing that he could have brought to that moment. Norio is expressing what we commonly describe as survivor's guilt. I know we talked about it earlier in the playthrough, so I'm not going to belabor it too much, but that why me? Why did everybody else die and I survive? It's a very heavy thing to deal with. And sometimes there's a reason for it, sometimes there's not. Sometimes it's just... it just happened that way. And then you're left to derive the meaning out of it that may or may not be actually productive to the way that you live your life and process it going forward. Jin saying to Norio, I felt the same way after Komoda. I was the only one to survive, like you're the only one to survive here, and I asked myself a whole shitload of questions about it and still haven't quite figured out what it means. Is wonderfully empathic. The reason I say that is because a rule of thumb that you can use on whether you should share your own story or whether you should entertain the idea, sometimes you still shouldn't, is what is the thing that I would draw upon here in order to empathize with the experience that the person who is sharing this with me is dealing with? So if you're hearing Norio talk about being the lone survivor of a group and you're seeing the pain that that brings for him, and you ask yourself, okay, in order for me to try to understand his experience in some way and connect with it without directly asking him, how does that make you feel? What is an experience from my own life that I would need to draw upon in order to have some close approximation of what it is that he must be dealing with? And Jin's answer to that question would absolutely be Komoda, because I'm the sole survivor from Komoda, and I have dealt with what that meant for me. And he could go in the more sophisticated direction on that, which would be to say, you must feel alone and confused and angry, and you don't know where to send any of that energy. And you could say that without ever sharing what happened at Komoda. And there's a good chance that Norio is going to connect with that and be like, yeah, man, you're right. Yes, it's terrible. It's awful. And then you have a really nice connected moment. He might even be like, how do you know that? And then you can share your own story. Or you do what Jin did, which is, you know what? That story's close enough that I don't want this guy to be alone in his experience of that. I don't want him to worry or wonder that he is the only person that's had that type of experience. Maybe he could benefit from somebody being farther down the line on that developmental path, and I'm going to share my experience. And Jin did, and it was a lovely moment between the two of them. He didn't hijack the moment. He didn't expect that Norio was going to take care of him or respond to him. He shared that with the explicit purpose of connecting with Norio's experience and showing him that there is a part of him that understands some of the experience that he's going through. And that's what makes that so wonderful. And that's going to create a connection between the two of them that's likely going to be quite meaningful for Norio going forward, I would imagine. And for Jin. Sometimes, if you collaborate with folks around a shared experience, you actually can work some of your own stuff out by helping other people work through theirs. There's a real healing that can happen sometimes through shared experience like that. So it's a pretty good moment. You know, I rag on Jim a lot, or on Jim. I rag on Jin a lot. This was a moment where he nailed it, and I appreciate that, as I'm sure Norio does too. You know, the people are never going to forget what you did for them, so you shouldn't either. That's yep. So, with that said, I will bid you adieu. Thank you so much for hanging out with me through part 18. We are covering so much in so little space, and I really like that. I think you all are right. This is going to be a ridiculously long playthrough, and that's okay by me. So do leave a like, do leave a comment. If there's anything from this episode that you feel particularly fond of or want to react to, I would love to read your comments. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and follow all the links in the description. Share the video, all the stuff I tell you at the beginning of the stream. If you're waiting for this to come out, I'll get it out as soon as I can. If you're binging it, I'll see you right here at the start of the next episode, and we will continue our journey. I appreciate you all immensely. Thanks for supporting my content. You matter. I will see you in the next time.